Hey everyone, welcome to Sefeo podcast. It's me, Chinta. I'll be the host for today, and we're gonna talk about equality and human rights. Well, today we have a very special guest. Hello, Linta.
Hi,
Hi. So, how's your feeling today?
I'm feeling good right now. How about you?
I'm feeling good. It's great to talk with you. Well, so Linta, today we are going to talk about equality and human rights. I would like to ask your very personal opinion about what is human rights to you.
First of all, I would like to say about my personal opinion about it. I don't talk behalf of somebody else, so I think this, opinion about this thing is, personal. And for me, human right is like something that, must or it's like something that people have as a human being, and it's like that foundation of our life. And we cannot put that right from others. And it's like something that necessary and so important in our life. And that's why we tend to like respect, and we have to put that first.
So, as what you said, it's something that is really basic in this life. It's like a foundation, right? And I do really agree with your opinion, but the reality hits really hard nowadays. So, as we can see that there's a lot of inequality and the violation of human right. In your opinion, what is the main problem of it? Can you tell us?
Well, when we talk about inequality that happen in this life, is like it's common sense. Like people, there's no perfect people in the world. Like that's why inequality tend to happen. And in my opinion, it's also because of the lack of regulation that in some or certain areas. That's why the human right or the rights of people cannot be applied as well as the other countries. Even when we say the most freedom country in the world, like United States, also still have a lot of crimes. And think that necessarily, like we call it as how to put it into words, like it's against the human right itself, like murderings, and there are a lot of murders over there. That's also something that happen.
So, the conclusion is it's not well applied in our society, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like equality or inequality tends to happen because a lot of problems that forcing it to happen. I don't know how to put it into words, and when we try to explain that in details, it's gonna be so long paragraph, and it's a long conversation about it. So in my opinion, when you talk about it, when you ask me about why inequality always happen and still happen in this world right now, it's because of there is no perfect creatures. There is nobody's perfect here. And that's why.
Yeah, I do really agree. And as what you said, there's a lot of inequality and a lot of violation of human rights, murderer, and etc. But do you have something like opinion about how we defend the equality and human rights around us? How we defend ourselves from the inequality and the violation of human rights around us?
Well, how to defend equality people around us, like for example, it's hard to defend someone's right, especially when it comes to the freedom of speech, the freedom of mindset, the freedom of people, how to people think, how to people like react upon things. Because you know I'm personally, I don't know how to do that. I mean, even though we always like trying to campaign about human rights, equality, whatsoever, but in the fact, we cannot totally support the human right itself. Because you know human right, it's like something that relative. Because especially when we live in Indonesia, the rights of Indonesian people, of course, it's different with the rights of people in America. For example, like in America, it's illegal to be some sex marriage, something like that, but it's illegal for Indonesia. So when we try to defend people's rights in Indonesia, especially like LGBTQ plus, we cannot do that. We cannot support them. We cannot like try to defend their right. But when it comes to American citizen, it's they are able to do that because the regulation of the country, the environment are supported to those actions. But we are Indonesian, we cannot do that, even though in our opinion it's like human rights, it's something that people have as human being, but it's something that illegal for Indonesian people to do that. But I'm not saying that I support LGBTQ plus community. I am not such a person that saying it's legal. But in my opinion, because of the country, like the world, especially saying it's part of the human right, I say that it's human right. It's the right of people to love what they love, to do whatever they want to do. It's part of the human right itself, But it's 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 hard for people, like when they want to do that, when they want to speak up about what or how they feel, how they feeling like about about love, about whatever. So my answer about how to defend the equality, how to defend the human right itself, it depends where you belong, it depends where you live. That's all.
Yeah, I understand, since there's a lot of culture in this world. In our country, there's a lot of culture, and in our country is a conservative country. So yeah, I really understand your statement. But beside a lot of big cases, what you said, global cases, have you ever feel the inequality and the violation of human rights itself? Or have you ever seen about the cases of it by yourself around you, in a small cases or big cases around you? Have you ever?
Well, when we talk about inequality that happening in my life or surrounded, people surrounded me, I feel like, I feel like I'm kind of one of person that feel that. I mean, it's not like inequality in a general term, as like I cannot speak up about whatever what I want to speak, and I cannot feel whatever I want to feel. But it's like, do you know about people that become outsider? I do feel that. I mean, I live in a community that people cannot understand about how I feel, and people that cannot understand how I um how I think about, like it's like being looked up in a community, in a society that it's like being lonely, but it's not like I'm alone. It's not that I'm alone, but I feel like I'm lonely and empty inside. But at the some point, at some cases, I just cannot show people about how I feel. I just cannot speak up about whatever what I want to speak, because it's different from the society, because my perspective, how I perceive things, how I try to react upon things are different, and my people or people who surrounded me are tend to so judgmental. They criticize a lot of things that different from them, and they tend to uh seeing something in a very low perspective, like why these people like become so weird when I used to do something, like when I talk about something in English, or when I when I act upon like something related to Western communities, related to Western ideologies. It's not like I'm westernized. No, I'm not westernized, but I feel like some of the culture, some of the perspectives and mindset of the Western communities are really related with my own inner God's feeling. I feel like I'm comfortable with their values. I'm comfortable with the open-minded, with the really tolerance culture, and it's like we have our space to think about and to figure out about the future that we really want to create, but it's not happening in my environment, in my people. Like people are so judgmental, like when we don't do something like the same like them, we will be bullied, we will be insulted or something like that, and it's really horrible for me. I mean, it's not making me feeling comfortable, and it makes me feeling like become outsider. It's not like inequality, but it's like part of the inequality, because when I'm different, when I look different, when I try to speak up about something different, people will, trying to insult me, trying to criticize me, judge me, and whatever. And it's not happening in the freedom country like Western community, right? So that's how I feel. But cases that happening about inequality in my surrounding places are related to that, related to people saying something lower. When they see something different from them, people will like come to say that, oh, why these people is so weird, why this blah blah blah, and they start to judge. That's how I see, like, so far.
Well, I do really sorry for what happened to you. It's like a loneliness that is wrapped um, in a loudness. Being minorities in a toxic place, in a place, it's horrible. And yeah, I feel you. There must be a lot of cases that is same with your case in this world, in this country. And I'm really sorry for them. But since there's a lot of inequality and violation of the human rights, and it's really such a heartbreaking for me. Do you think that there is a message that you want to share to a lot of people in this world? Do you have a hope, a little hope that everyone should hear about it?
Well, yeah, I do a lot of hope actually, but the question is a little hope. The conflict that currently happened between Russia and Ukraine. So I hope the conflict will end up soon and make the world being a better place, and peace and freedom, and stop the starvation, stop the inequality, like especially in the Middle East countries. There are a lot of conflict over there that basically it's because of the propaganda, right? You must know about the conspiracy as well. And I feel like the civil society become the victim of the propaganda, become the victim of the capitalists or the politicians, whatever you want to say that. Please just stop all of the inequality. Like, people tend to spread the kindness spread love, peace, and make the world being better place. That's all. I mean, like, why we should, you know, do something like that? Why we should, like, making all the propaganda just to sell your weapons, sell uh, your I don't know how to say that. It's part of the conspiracy, but I don't want to explain that like too much because it's dangerous, But my little hope that you say before, I just want the world become better place, become you know equal, like all of people in the world can get whatever they want to get, can fulfill their needs, especially like the basic needs of the people in the world, like food, and no starvation anymore in the world. People can go to school, people can have equal right, like uh but the most of all, peace in the world is my hope, one and only.
Linta, that's such a good words from you. I mean, it's a very beautiful little hope that there must be a lot of people have the same hope, just like you. But yeah, however, it's not that easy because the reality hits us really hard at the moment. But do you think that we can tackle the inequality and violation of human rights? I mean, do we really have a hope? Do we really have that chance to make the world better? In your personal opinion, do you think that we can do that? Do you think that we are able for that?
Yeah, actually, you've answered that. Like, it's hard, it's really hard and almost difficult to change the world at at a glance, and it's impossible. I mean, nothing is impossible, but it's almost impossible because all of the people in the world, like, let that happen, let that the starvation happen, let that the conflict happen, even though they actually know how to solve the problems, but they let that happen. But for us right now, because we're talking about that, the solution and how to solve that, how to tackle that down, my opinion is just do the least thing that you can do, like do charity, like help other when we see people around and people in need. We can do and we can help them to solve the problem and make the world being better place, even though it's the simplest and the smallest thing, like maybe just not just not bullying people, just not insulting people, even though when we see something different from them, we have to respect each other, we have to tolerance. And when we feel like people do something bad, we can tell them in a polite way, in a good way. And even though we've been like being hurt by people, we tend to not do the same thing to them. Like we're not necessarily, or we're not supposed to do the same thing as them, even though it's gonna be so heartbroken when people hurt us, but we cannot, we don't do the same thing as them. We don't do revenge. It's gonna be so, like, we are the loser, but it's not that we are loser, but because we know it's wrong when we do the same thing as them. Just let them be and let God revenge, or take over it, and replay, or take care of you. Just the simplest thing that we can do, because of we want to change, we want the world being better place, and we want to spread kindness and peace and love and whatever that world needs right now.
Well, I do agree. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. But as what Ariana Grande ever said, almost is never enough. So it's just almost impossible, but it's not impossible, right? We still have a hope. We still have a little hope. Your beautiful hope, our beautiful hope, it's still possible. And yeah, that's what I think about um, hope of of equality and human right at the moment. And the last question I would like to give to you, it's a simple question, a very simple question, and I hope that you can tell everyone, why should humans respect each other?
Wow, this is interesting question. Like, why we should respect each other? Because we're supposed to be different, and it's inevitably happen. You know, it's must happen because we are human being. We are created by God, and we're different since the first place. So we have to respect each other because if it's if we're not respect each other, so what's gonna be happen in the future? What's gonna be happen in the world? Because we're different. If we are not applying the respect, we won't ever talk each other. We won't ever like see people and have the courage or have the willing to talk to them, to encounter, to communicate, to whatever, because we're different. And respect is like, you know, you appreciate the differences, you acknowledge the differences, and you deal with all of the differences that we have as human beings. That's why we can live in this world happily and peacefully, you know. That's all. And unfortunately, what happened currently in this world, like we don't know how to respect, we don't know how to tolerate each other, even though it's like something that I could say personally it's easy, because why should we care? I mean, why should we try to take something people business, you know? I mean, it's not our business. Why should we care about those businesses as long as it's not bothering or it's not disturbing our business? So why should we care about that? I mean, if they need our help, so we can help them, but if they don't need our help, like, let them be, let they want to do what they want to do. Or this kind of perspective is like supposed to be more westernized, and it's not like our perspective as Eastern, as Asian, as Indonesian. But I feel like I feel more comfortable when it comes to the value of Western community. Like, they really respect our business, they really respect our space as human being, because somehow we as human being always need our space. We don't want to be bothered by anyone. That's a really good value that Western community have, you know.
Yeah, Linta, do you know, we had a really good conversation, and I do really thank you for that. Thanks for sharing your hope. Thanks for let us know what your little hope for the equality and the human right. To be honest, your explanation is somehow overwhelming. I had a great time with you, and thank you for that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And thanks for everyone for listening to our conversation till the end. And I hope that you guys will always have a great time. So, bye bye.